Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to talk about Five Nights at Freddy's. This was a theme that I liked a lot a few years ago, and it was then when I made a lot of characters from that game. And today I'm going to show them off. So first we're going to talk about Freddy and also Bonnie because they're basically the same. So as you can see, Freddy, he has this type of style with this nose, and also these eyes are special because they're glow in the dark, so we can recreate that part in the first game where when your battery runs out and you'll have just Freddy like staring into your soul. And we have Bonnie here. As you can see, it's like the same design basically, except you have these large ears. And for Freddy, he is holding a microphone, and for Bonnie, he's holding a guitar. And the way I did this was, as you can see, there's a start with a hole, and then I used a jumper plate and some of these slopes to round it off like a stomach. And then I built this simple guitar, and then I stuck it on just like that. And then, yeah. And then you have a Bonnie, and then he has a bow tie, and so does Freddy. And yeah. So the next one is going to be about Chica. Chica is pretty interesting because she's probably the simplest one out of them all. And as you can see for the bib, obviously there's no printed like piece that's perfect for this character. So I just used a bunch of like substitutes. And as you can see, it says 2015. Also this envelope. And a cool thing about this is that for the cupcake, I actually used like the bat piece from Minecraft as the face for the cupcake, so that's pretty cool. And as you can see, it's a pretty simple build. And on top, to make it basically as round as possible, I just used some of these slopes on top and used this orange cheese slope as the beak. So next, let's talk about my favorite one, which is Foxy. He was always my favorite character, and this was the first one that I made. And as you can see, he has a pretty he is probably the most complicated build out of the main four characters. And as you can see, he has this eye patch and also has some ears. And also for the hook, since there's no like actual hook piece that's like small enough to fit at this size, I just used this kind of like use this specialized piece. And he also has some pants, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's Foxy. And now let's go on to the weirdest one of them all, which is Golden Freddy. Golden Freddy is like kind of like slouching, sitting down, and he has this bow tie and has this crooked head, which, as you can see, the build is pretty interesting. I used this clip to connect to this handlebar to basically offset it from the main part, because then if you connect the head like so, you can see now actually it looks kind of normal, right? But if you had this handlebar on the same level as the rest of the pieces, then the head would look super offset. So that's pretty interesting. And I also used like a different type of headpiece for this character. To be honest, I don't know why I did, but I just did. And this one has an open mouth, so that's pretty accurate. And then you can see this arm's holding a microphone. This arm is just floating around basically, and you have some shoulder pads kind of. So yeah, this is a pretty interesting one. So now let's go on to the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 game. And the first one is the puppet. The puppet was a pretty interesting build, and I remember it was quite difficult to get the face because it was so complicated, and like Lego is a very blocky type of structure, right? So I guess you can see the black is the eyes, the purple is like the crying, like the tears, the red is like the cheeks. So I think it looks pretty good. You can see the legs. It's a bunch of stripes, and I used this handlebar piece for like the buttons basically. So yeah, and it's super skinny. Yeah, and for the bottom, I use this handle piece to just like stabilize it when I'm like, and you are able to display it without it, but it'll be very fragile. So yeah. Now let's go on to Mango. Mango is probably my second favorite apart from Foxy, and as you can see, it's a super crazy build. Just 3 legs, and one of them is a normal leg, and others are like just are basically just like metal scrap, and 2 heads, big sort of the same build as Foxy with the head, and yeah, just in general, it's just a super crazy build, and I think it turned out super good, and it's super accurate. And now let's go on to Balloon Boy. Balloon Boy is a super, to be honest, weird character, just like in the game in general. And I don't know why it even exists, but here it is. It was super tough to get like all these details on the face onto just like this small space. So it does look kind of weird, but you know. As you can see, it's holding a sign and also a balloon. And you can see the propeller part on top of its head, and there's brown hair on the back. I used one of these like bricks with these patterns, so it looks pretty nice. So now let's finally get on to Five Nights at Freddy's 3 with Springtrap. So Springtrap is basically the same thing as Bonnie, except it has a broken ear, and has a different color palette. As you can see, it has a very like rusty look, and also has like a bunch of green on it. So yeah. And finally, we have Phantom Foxy. So this was kind of just a throw-in build to round it off to a nice number at like 10. So this is basically the same thing as Foxy, except it's super broken down and it's missing an arm or like part of it. And then on the back of the head, it's like the same thing, except it's all plates to give it like that more texture. And yeah, it also has the eye patch, and it has the same arms, and it has some like broken parts on it. So yeah. So in conclusion, this was a pretty nice set of builds, and yeah, I'm pretty proud of these, especially Foxy, and I just wanted to share it with you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.